Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass and Move. And for today's episode in our noisy Napoli series, we do have the first game of the season for you here, the Serie A competition, of course, and it will be against Crotone. So this team here have just recently been promoted to this to Serie A. So we'll be hoping to prove that they are relegation candidates, or they are at least an opposition that we should easily brush aside, and hopefully we can do that today. And in terms of who will be starting, this is kind of the squad we'll be going for. So the good thing about Italy is that you can have pretty much your 12 substitutes. Now we have some players missing, like Hamsik, who's out for 3 to 5 weeks with a dislocated shoulder, Manuel for 5 to 10 days, Jorginho's suspended for God knows how long. I can't seem to find out. If anyone's got suggestions to that, leave it in the comment section, please. Tonelli as well is out for 3 to 4 months. So that's a bit of a heavy injury, but he is a centre back, and we do have numbers to support that. He's actually the 5th centre back in the squad, so we may have to consider moving him on or moving someone else on. The point is we can't have 5 centre backs; we only need 4 really. But yeah, the good thing about that is he's out for a while, so we don't have to consider anything up until about January. And the last one is Gianluca. He's actually a youth player, so he's supposed to be in this spot here providing cover for Rog, but unfortunately he's injured, and I think the season's kind of begun, so we can send him back to his youth squad so he can get some decent game time, so back to the under-18s. So this is kind of squad we're going for. Hopefully when everyone does come back, we can start, putting Hamsik back here, Jorginho and Tonelli, Jorginho and Emmanuel back here as well. But yeah, it's kind of a straightforward team. I think Milik is the first choice. Rog is the backup to Hamsik, but Hamsik's injured, of course. Mertens there, Kallion, Allen and Zelinski's kind of a straightforward thing as well. Olam, Kolabi, Maximovic, and here Serge. I think what we need to do though is actually take off Nicola here for Albiol, who's actually supposed to be starting. We took him off for the last preseason game because he picked up a little bit of a knock, but he's back in time today, and so he can actually start. Alright, so let's get into today's game, and hopefully it's a great start and a nice easy 3 points. That would be the perfect way to start things. Just wait until the players warm up. But yeah, in case you didn't watch the intro episode, I did mention how we're not necessarily going to show you any cup competitions until until we've actually met expectations. So, for example, the Champions League, I don't think there's necessarily any point of showing you the group stage games because they expect us to reach the knockout stages. When we reach then we can start to show you the games. Unless we obviously are facing off against a rival, for example, then that might make some sense. But yeah, favourites of today's game as expected. We had to man mark their attacking midfielder. Because of the formation we play with, they can kind of exploit this space here just behind the 2 central midfielders. We're not playing a defensive midfielder who can kind of counter their attacking midfielder. And actually, if they were wise, I would say they should be doing the same, because now hopefully Rog can seriously invade the space here. But yeah, I think we can finally kick off. Told our players what we expect of them. We need to change this to key down here. Goals, leave on director. Alright, looks like we're set. I think we can skip this. It's an interesting formation they're playing. It's one that I sometimes struggle with because I'm not too sure what to do. I know we definitely have to attack the flanks, look for overlaps and whatnot, because you can take advantage of them just playing one wide man. But at the same time, your defense has to be very solid in order to be able to deal with 3 players here. And it's not like when you're playing a 4-3-3 with 3 strikers, because then you can kind of deal with that more easily. They're in a straight line, and you can kind of deal with their threat easily. But the 2 centre-backs are going to be busy with the 2 strikers, and an attacking midfielder has an ability to cause damage from deep with no one seriously marking him. So we've tried to counter that, but sometimes it doesn't necessarily work. And maybe today we can do that. Rog is through somehow, and he can score the first goal. Nope, he can't. Mertens, though, is on the ball. What's he going to do? Loses it instead. But yeah, also we're playing a one-man striker formation, so he has to face up against 3 centre-backs. Hopefully our attacking midfielder can help support him with that. But it's going to be a bit tough. in terms of midfield, we don't have any real advantage over them here. So it's really going to be all about our wide play. So far, though, we've had a great start. Napoli with 8 shots, 5 on target, 1 clear-cut chance, which really should have been finished by Rog. And that's kind of why he's the backup player to Hamsik, I suppose. But anyways, Callejon on the ball. Nope, he's not on the ball. Instead, it's Rodden who gets away, and now he can counter for his team. But apparently, that's the end of that highlight. And we may need to put some serious pressure on Crotone to switch into control soon. Another highlight. Can we finally score? Stadium looks fairly packed out. I can't tell if these blue shirts are the seats or are they the shirts or the actual people. But either way, Napoli are known for their support. So Allen playing that box-to-box midfielder well. That role coming up and down. We've seen him defend and we've seen him attack. So that's good to see. And maybe Reina. Oh, he finds someone easily. Thankfully, he's not losing possession. Mertens, though, cuts inside like an inside forward, which is good. Allen's on the ball. He's got Rog with him. And Rog loses out. And Crotone play it safe. Not having the best of games so far, Rog. We do need Hamsik, or is it Hamshik? Pretty sure it's Hamsik. But anyways, we do need him back ASAP because, you know, this is kind of showing the difference in class. Rog should be the different, you know, the key player for today's game. As I mentioned, the attacking midfielder would be causing most of the damage, but so far he hasn't done too much. I mean, it's still early, obviously, but yeah, we need to try and see some more. He's had opportunities. Allen taking a stupid long shot there. We'll switch into control and see if we can dominate this game a little bit more. When we switch into control as well, we do have our inside forward who will be overlapped by the wing back, which means that should hopefully help down that flank. Milik scores the first goal for our club. And who else did I expect to cause the damage? Arkaduiz. I've never actually managed Milik. I've never actually bought him. To be honest, I don't think I've bought anyone from the Napoli squad before. There's some decent play. Actually, no, that's a lie. I've bought Olam and I've bought Strinic, and yeah, I guess it's normally fullbacks. And they kind of get away with that. Oh, I bought El Sayed as well. Oh, he's one hell of a fullback, to be honest. He's really good, I think. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he can play on either flank. So that helps sometimes when you have, you know, serious injuries. And just overall, he's good at defending. Oh, that should have been his second. I was going to celebrate. That's a shame. Well, either way, that's kind of it, really. I don't think I've ever bought Koulibaly. Maybe I can look into him next time if I'm with someone else. Penalty. Federico. Whenever the game does that weird pause where it's not really stopped, but it's not really continuing either, you just know it's a penalty. So I could tell when that corner was taken, we're getting a penalty. Maybe Milik can get his brace now, unless someone else. No, it's him who's taking it. Alright, come on, make it comfortable for us. Yeah, and yes, he does. Never doubt him. I'm starting to like him. He does the complete forward support role really well so far. Normally, complete forwards on support, they tend to pass more often than they score. It really depends on what type of striker you've got, really. Some of them score more than they assist, and so it looks like Milik is going to be one of those, and that's my preference, to be honest. I want him to be able to find his wingers when they, you know, when he has the ball, he has to hold it up and then play his wingers through. But at the same time, if he's scoring goals, I can't complain. That is kind of his main objective, isn't it? But anyways, 2-0, and no signs of complacency, but I think we can warn our players of that anyways. Milik is confused and demotivated, but he's just going to have to get over himself. Because it's kind of standard to warn your players. Crotone respond to the 2-0 result so far by going even more defensive. And it looks like they've addressed their weaknesses, which is the flanks and the defensive midfield, you know, to cover Rog. But hopefully our central midfielders can, you know, use up all that space here. So you'd really expect Allen well, really Allen, our deep line playmaker, you won't expect him to go forward too much, Zielinski. But yeah, Allen as a box-to-box midfielder should be enjoying all types of space here. And maybe even our wingers can get in behind the wing backs here, because they're not really defending directly to our players, so we can kind of get away with it. Or hopefully we can. But either way, 2-0 is not a bad result for an opening game. At the end of the day, all that matters is the 3 points. But yeah, anything to help our goal difference would be perfect. No real need for substitutions just yet. We've completely dominated this game with Crotone just getting one single shot, and hopefully they don't make a second here. Zelinski deals with the initial threat. Allen, the box-to-box midfielder, finds Rog, and there you go. Rog's got a chance to get himself a goal, but instead he goes all the way actually. Not a bad shot. We're creating plenty though, which is good to see. I'm used to having plenty of shots, whichever formation I'm playing with, whichever tactic I'm playing with. But really, what matters is the clear-cut chances and half chances. We should definitely have... I always think you should be converting clear-cut chances without a doubt, so we should be 3-0 up. And at half chances, I like to think you should be scoring at least half of your half chances. So it should be more like 5-0 up. So it's kind of disappointing. But again, like I said, all that matters is the 3 points. Alright, some tired players in our squad now. Really, it's just our midfielders. I think they must have put in a really good shift. So bring on Diawara for Allen, and we'll switch Diawara into a ball-winning midfielder, which he suits far more. And I think we don't really have anyone for Allen. We talked about the player who's suspended. He's his backup, so we'll just stick to making the one substitution for now. Alright, what have we got in store for the last 20 or even 15 minutes now? I can't even finish a sentence before this game simulates. But yeah, I mean we have a fairly easy start against Crotone. I'm going to have a look at the next few fixtures, but I'm hoping it's a good easy start, and then the big games start to come in. Alright, so I don't know, normally I look at anyone who's under 75% in terms of conditioning and take them off according to how well they've played, and that way you can give them a rest. I think I'll take off Milik. I know he's on a hat-trick, but he's better off getting a rest, and he's had plenty of time to, there's 10 minutes left, he had plenty of time to score earlier. Take off Mertens for Lorenzo and Insigne as well. And he is still attacking left midfielder, inside forward, cuts inside from both wings. See, he's a little bit more suited to the role than Mertens, who doesn't really cut inside. I think I might train him for that. It's what we need. Alright, can we get a third? It's unlikely though, with how defensive Crotone are playing. You can kind of, respect or even expect the way they're playing, because they just got promoted from Serie B, and then they're expected to face off against Napoli and get some type of a result. So it's no real surprise that they've gone for the defensive formation. I was expecting them to play this with the majority of the teams this season. They did try a little bit more of an attacking formation, to be fair to them. Wasn't crazy defensive, the initial formation. They were playing with defensive tactics, but the formation itself wasn't defensive. So credit to them for that. But yeah, I mean, look at this. You've got 5 players here, 2 defensive midfielders. That's already 7 players committed. Well, either way, 2-0. Not a bad start at all. And it is a good win for us. Alright, so there you go. Some teams haven't played yet, but it looks like these are the teams who've gotten the early result. We're yet to draw our Champions League game. The Champions League group stages, rather, who we're going to face in our table. And I'm obviously hoping to avoid anyone big. We do need to qualify from our group, so I mean that's minimum expectations. What were we going to do? Yep, we're going to have a look at the schedule. Alright, so we face off against Sampdoria. They'd expect us to win that. Bologna expect us to win that. Torino, Cagliari. I think the first tough game is probably Fiorentina. But again, this is why I love the Italian league, because it's so competitive. It's kind of like the Premier League. You can lose and win against anyone. But yeah, I think a fairly decent opening fixtures. I think maybe we'll show you the Fiorentina game. That makes more sense. And obviously it'll depend on what's going on, but my prediction is Fiorentina. We'll see how the season goes. As it develops more, the more unpredictable it's probably going to be, and then we can start to decide which games to show you. Actually, quickly have a look at the club rivalries as well. Fiorentina's not there, so Juventus and Roma, and Atalanta as well, so maybe we'll show you some of those games too, but they're not for a while. Atalanta here, Juve are here, and Roma. We don't face Roma until here? It's a bit strange. Well, anyways, so I think that's pretty much all for today's episode. So if you did enjoy it, then please do, of course, hit the like button and subscribe for more Daily Football Manager 2017 content. And as always, guys, thank you all very, very, very much for watching.